Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, February 4th. Our very active winter season continues. A snowstorm yesterday dumped more than 10 inches of snow in some parts of the Philadelphia suburbs, and that snow extended from northern Maryland across southeastern Pennsylvania, throughout New Jersey, and into the New York City area. And yet another storm will bring some significant ice and snow to the Mid-Atlantic region overnight tonight into the morning hours on Wednesday. Accumulating snow is likely in and around Philadelphia and New York City, and then that will be followed by a buildup of ice as the snow should change to sleet and freezing rain. Freezing rain is a good bet in the Washington, D.C. area, especially in the northern and western suburbs, before a change over to plain rain on Wednesday. Before we get into the details of this upcoming event, just thought we'd start off with the 6 to 10 day outlook from NOAA in terms of temperature. A couple of things to point out here. First of all, well below normal in much of the nation. This is from Sunday through Wednesday of next week, the first half of next week, and a very widespread area of below normal readings extending all the way up into Alaska. The only area warmer than normal is along the southwest U.S. coast in Southern California, for example. For the most part, continuation of below normal temperatures. And when you combine that with the precipitation outlook right here, this spells a lot of snow, above normal precipitation expected here for that first half of next week with below normal temperatures. And indeed, there's a potential storm in the Sunday-Monday time frame. We'll talk a little bit about that later on today. But first, let's focus in on the upcoming event. Well, one model that has done a pretty good job in recent days is the Canadian model. I like to show this here. I think it has a pretty good handle on the situation for tonight. Again, a significant snow and ice event coming to the Mid-Atlantic region tonight and tomorrow morning. Should result in lots of school closings in the morning, slippery driving conditions, and some tree limbs could come down with the additional snow, and then on top of that some ice buildup with the change over to freezing rain could certainly bring down some limbs late tonight and early tomorrow. This is the forecast map with precipitation type. The blues represent areas of snow, the red here is freezing rain, and the pinks represent areas of sleet. And this is for 7 p.m. tonight, and we'll walk through this on an hourly basis. Again, I think this model has done a good job recently and has a pretty good handle on the upcoming situation. Now, let's walk through here. Sleet and freezing rain early this evening begin across the D.C. metropolitan region. Then by the time it gets up into southeastern Pennsylvania, it's in the form of snow, and there can be a couple of hours of decent snowfall later on this evening into the early part of the morning hours across southeastern Pennsylvania. The snow reaches New York City in the after midnight hours. Still some freezing rain throughout the Washington metro region. Let's now jump ahead. This is about 1 o'clock in the morning. Snowing pretty good here in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania, but you see sleet and freezing rain right on the doorstep, creeping to the north. Still some freezing rain throughout D.C., snowing pretty hard at this time in the New York City region. Let's go now a couple more hours. Now this freezing rain extends all the way up throughout pretty much all of southeastern Pennsylvania. East central Pennsylvania still in the snow, let's say the Lehigh Valley, and north and east across New York City region. Finally, we go into early tomorrow morning, and we still have some freezing rain hanging on in the northern and western suburbs of the district. Throughout the Philadelphia metro region, still below freezing temperatures, perhaps 28, 29, 30 degrees in the morning hours with considerable ice buildup, freezing rain. Still perhaps snow hanging on just on the north side of New York City, but there too should change to an ice situation. So again, we have basically a snow and then ice situation north of the Mason-Dixon line. Basically, freezing rain is the potential fear here in the Washington, D.C. metro region, especially the northern and western suburbs. An inch or two of snow in Philadelphia itself, perhaps 2 to 4 inches in the suburbs overnight tonight before the changeover. 3 to 6 inches of snow and ice possible in the New York City region between late tonight and tomorrow. So a very messy morning commute is in the works for much of the I-95 corridor. Well, one other important aspect to this storm overnight tonight will be exactly where that freezing line will be. And this is the forecast from last night's 0Z GFS model run for 7 p.m. this evening. Here is the freezing line right near the surface, lowest part of the atmosphere, well to the south and east of the big cities. D.C. right in this region right here, Philadelphia right up in this region right here. So here's the I-95 corridor right here between D.C. and New York City. Well below freezing at this time. Now let's jump ahead 6 hours. Now 6 hours later, about 1 o'clock in the morning, that freezing line still cuts through southern part of New Jersey, right around through the D.C. metro region, south and east of Philadelphia. So anything that falls at this time, again, this is about 1 o'clock in the morning, is certainly frozen in southeastern part of Pennsylvania. It doesn't mean it has to be snow. There can be some warmer air moving aloft, but still, ice buildup is likely in the northern western suburbs of D.C. throughout much of the night, and certainly in Philadelphia there will be a snow accumulation followed by an ice buildup, and same thing in the New York City region. Snow develops after midnight and continues right into the morning, and then that changes to sleet and freezing rain. So they'll have accumulating snow followed by accumulating ice. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. And this is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That freezing line still not through the New York City region, just on the northwest side of Philadelphia, and certainly by this time to the north and west of the D.C. metro region. But even in some of the suburbs of the D.C. area, especially the far northern and western suburbs, it still could be right around freezing in the morning, so there still could be some freezing occurring on some surfaces, and certainly throughout southeastern part of Pennsylvania. I still expect this is probably a little bit too mild. Will still be at or below freezing throughout southeastern Pennsylvania first thing tomorrow morning, so certainly can be some ice buildup continuing into the morning hours, and certainly in New York City it'll be at or below freezing with snow at this time changing over to sleet and freezing rain. So a significant snow and ice event coming north of the Mason-Dixon line overnight tonight into the morning hours. South of the Mason-Dixon line, primarily just an ice event. But even there can be some tricky driving conditions later on tonight. In the district, it changes over to plain rain on Wednesday. Could stay as a wintry mix all day long in the Philadelphia and New York City metro regions. Let's take one quick peek at the possibility over the weekend, and we'll look at the GFS model run for the latter part of the weekend. And here it is, the forecast for Sunday evening from last night's 0Z GFS model run. Developing low pressure here off the Mid-Atlantic coastline. Lots of precipitation throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, for the most part on the cold side of the rain-snow line here. Still lots of potential for this system. Sunday, Monday time frame, but still a ways to go and a lot of details to be ironed out. The models certainly are not converging on a similar solution as of this time, but the potential exists for a pretty decent storm, perhaps a big storm in the Sunday, Monday time frame. But first things first, we have a snow and ice event coming tonight into tomorrow. Mainly just ice and then rain in the D.C. metro region, but big trouble possible later on tonight and early tomorrow morning in terms of driving conditions. That's it for now. Stay tuned to the SIweather.com for any updates later on today. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.